love my football, so it's a good chance to get down and be a part of it. So, alrighty. And welcome one and all to Frank Drago Reserve for this rescheduled round 6 fixture in the NPL Men's WA between our host Bayswater and the visiting Inglewood United. While Floreat Athena are attempting to make the 2021 season as boring as possible at the top of the league, their lead now stretched to 11 points. The middle of the table still very much competitive. In fact, all sides, apart from probably rock bottom Rockingham, would still have their sights on a top 4 place. No more so than these two sides. Inglewood sitting in 5th currently, Bayswater in 7th. A win today could have huge ramifications on whether or not either of these sides can have a spot in the top 4 cup. Inglewood, one of the form sides of the competition, coming here today to face a relatively informed Bayswater as well. Bayswater haven't lost in 3, a couple of draws in there though. Inglewood, however, undefeated in 6, 4 wins and 2 draws after their shocking start to the season, winning the top 4 cup and then going on to win just 1 and lose 4 of their opening 5 fixtures. Starting to hit a run of form now though. Some would say at the right point of the season. Just the 2 changes to the Bayswater side that defeated Rockingham by a score of 1-0 down in Rockingham last week. Jacob Turner and Dumba Mikeche coming into the side. Inglewood likewise, just the 2 changes. Barrera and Murphy coming off the bench to replace Blackmore and the suspended Del Borello. Del Borello receiving a 2nd yellow card last week in a pretty petulant encounter. Ended up coming off the field with blood streaming from his face and was received a 2nd yellow for something he said to the referee afterwards, we believe. And Bayswater not without their red card difficulties either this season. A couple in 2 weeks against Armidale and Guelph, and Zaid Farrer, in fact, one of the daftest red cards I've seen this season. And in the NPL, that's saying something as Bayswater look to launch the first attack. Ball into the box by Tyler Garner, dealt with. And the big switches onto the far side. The secret to this game, not such a secret for either of these sides, as Barrera looks to have his first impact on the game. He's fouled. And as I was just saying, the secret for Bayswater is going to be keeping Steve Sokol off the score sheet. He is the league's leading scorer, tied with Anasmo and Rivera on 8. Whereas for Inglewood, it'll be Gordon Smith they need to keep off the score sheet. He's pretty much the only man that can score at the moment for Bayswater, although Danny Katz on the bench chipped in with a screamer against Guelph as that one's flicked on by Barnett and cleared. And Smith with 4 of Bayswater's last 6 goals, stretching back to round 5. That's that one hoof clear. I might get my first touch of the day here. No, it doesn't quite reach me up in the stands. So Inglewood in their yellow kit with the blue shorts, attacking to the left of your screen. Bayswater in their navy blue and black stripes, the home side attacking to the right of screen. As Jamie Murphy looks to get a ball in, and that's hooked clear. I'm Sean Fry. I'll be calling the 90 minutes plus stoppage time for you today. And what is becoming one of the more important fixtures of this round. As further Floreat pull away, the top of the league starts to look like there's not too much interest, but it is tight all the way down, as I said, to 11th. We'll be pressing and hoping they can make headway. As that long ball intended for McKetcher was cut out, and it'll be another Inglewood foul. Scott Blackmore dropping to the bench again today, where he's spent the majority of the season. Played in every game, but just started just the 3. Came off the bench and scored in the top 4 cup final to ice that. Started in round 1, started in round 5, but was subbed off at half time. Other than that, he's come on 60 or 70 minutes every week, so expect to see him come on in the second half, if the legs have recovered from last week, of course. A late challenge there. Bayswater look to get us restarted quickly. As Abraham's turning back into Sparta. A long ball for Garner there, cut out. In the hands of Abrahams. Inglewood, back to their experienced skipper, Alex Dunn, and ever present in the teams of the year and the goalkeeper of the year competitions, the Inglewood stopper. Still hasn't managed to keep a clean sheet though this season. Inglewood the only side yet to do that, as one of the best hold-up footballers in Perth. Getting his first impact on the game there was Robbie Petkov, the big number 9 for Inglewood. Just such a good target, and his chest, his head to his feet. And always hold things up and wait for the cavalry. Probably hasn't scored as many goals as he would have liked this season, with just the 3 from the first 11 games, but always has an impact, and did get on the scoreboard last week in the 2-1 win against Armidale, that spiteful encounter that I referenced earlier. Ball crossed in, and Bayswater will look to go the other way here through Garner. Garner stopped in his tracks there by Barrera. Sparta looks to turn out. Turner, the inclusion this week, goes across to his centre-half partner in Hesketh. The Bayswater skipper, who lunges in, and that's a poor tackle. He'll be lucky to escape the book there, and the referee feeling generous on this occasion. Steve Hesketh was one of the red cards that Bayswater have received this season in round 10 against Gwelup. Some controversy at social media seemed to all be in agreement that the referee got that one wrong. I wasn't so sure. I thought the way he jumped up and extended his leg down was only to kick out at the opponent. But anyway, the ball into the box, and Bayswater, the keeper there, Nicholas Specker, not quite handling that one as he would have liked. And Bayswater clear over the top, hoping for McKetcher to run onto that. Dunn, the experienced Alex Dunn in position. And that one comes off the back of, I thought it came off the back of the Inglewood man there, but the referee and linesman deciding the other way. Jamie Murphy with a throw. In for Petkov. Didn't quite control that one, but wins his side a throw with the follow-up pressure. Murphy can advance about 15 yards and have another throw. He looks short for Barrera and gets it back. Looking to take on his man now, Murphy, and get a ball into the box. Looked a decent left foot cross, but he just didn't quite get the angle correct. And Specker will jog over to field that one. Get us restarted. Bayswater 0, Inglewood 0, opening stages of this Rescheduled round 6 fixture. Rescheduled, of course, because of the COVID lockdown. Back in round 6. And most sides, despite being at round 12, only having played 11 games. It'll be nice to be beyond that, not have to explain that every week. Specker looks long in the direction of Smith and McKetcher. It's over both of them. Bit of a hack there from Barnett. Works out for Barrera. And here goes the ever-dangerous Steve Sokol. He's got Cook for company. Comes inside for Barrera. Sokol will get it back. Back to Barrera. Will take a touch. A second touch and go down. A real shout there. Referee unmoved. Certainly on the sidelines they were asking for a penalty. Perhaps not so much on the field. That one's misjudged a little by Barnett. McKetche does well to go inside and then outside, back through Barnett's legs, but he does well to recover and force a block, and charging in there rashly is Tyler Garner, and he may receive the first yellow card of the day. He does. And certainly didn't seem that much worse than Steve Hesketh's effort earlier, but you can't let too many of them go. You usually get away with one in the first few minutes. Perhaps we've ticked past the threshold. Dunn will get Inglewood restarted. Just awaits the whistle there and then pumps it long down the line in the direction of Ajak Riak. Over him, but Murphy will have another throw. As it comes out to Sokol, the always dangerous Steve Sokol. I said they had to keep him off the score sheet. They haven't done so. He has had an immediate impact, as he so often does, and takes his spot at the top of the league's leading scorers. He has 9 on the season now. You just can't give him that much space, and I'm sure that the Bayswater coaching staff would have been saying that before the game. Hesketh has a word to his back four, a few shrugged shoulders and pointed fingers, but they left the league's leading scorer in a pocket of space about 18 yards out from goal, and when that happens, there is every chance that you are going to be going behind, and they have gone behind. Bayswater 0, Inglewood 1. Specker looks wide for his fullback. It was a little long, and the ball will have to come back for a throw-in. Tussle on the far side. The Inglewood man goes down and stays down. And referee Julian Serrett stopping the play now to go over and check on that head injury over there. Didn't catch exactly what happened or who it is that's down for Inglewood. It may even be the goal scorer, Steve Sokol. See, both sides take this break as an opportunity to get over to the bench and rehydrate. Or was it Petkov over there that's down? It is Robert Petkov, who obviously received a bump to the head. Looks to be okay, just rubbing the back of the bonce there, big Robbie Petkov. I'm sure he will be fine to continue. It'll take more than that to keep him down. Here is Steve Sokol. Back to Ishida Livings. Back to Giovanni Suarez, who looks down the line for Sokol. His first touch a little loose, allows the Bayswater defender in to nip it off him and restart. So for Bayswater, the big issue this season has been a lack of goals. Just the 13 this season is the second worst record in the league. Ahead of, behind, or ahead of, I guess, only Rockingham. Defensive record, nothing to be sniffed at. They've 16 goals against, is fifth best in the league. Whereas Inglewood, slightly different story. They haven't had too much problem scoring goals, mostly due to the magic of their number 14, who's already scored today. And their 23 on the season has them third best in the league. While defensively they are just slightly worse than Bayswater. The 19 conceded and tied for the 7th, right in middle table, 7th best record defensively. Good touch there from Murphy. For Riak, back to Murphy, who looks to clip one over the top. I'm not sure whether that was intended for Ajak Riak or perhaps expected a different run from Robert Petkov. Either way, the ball back with Bayswater as they look to play it out from the back. Inglewood setting up very high. Robert Petkov right on the edge of the 18-yard box and pressing all the way to the goalkeeper here. Bayswater look to come out through Turner, and the presses worked for Inglewood. Turn it over, and Buffer-Busher receives it from Murphy, who gives it back to Giovanni Suarez all the way back to Dunn. Dunn's long ball is ill-directed, him splitting the difference between Sokol and Petkov. Bayswater really yet to get things started here. Small amounts of possession around the back, but not a whole lot of penetration going into that final third. Another long ball is wayward of Tyler Garner. Dealt with comfortably by Murphy, back to Dunn. And Inglewood can start again. Barnett strides out and fizzes it into the feet of Petkov, who just cushions it down. Wonderful ball over the top from Barrera. Ajak Riak is through, and his first touch takes it just around the right-hand goalpost. So nearly 2-0 Inglewood. The visitors have started well here at Frank Drago Reserve. Well, I think in the end, Riak, confronted by Specker, was caught in two minds whether he just needed to get a little nick past the keeper and then roll it in, or whether to go first time. And in the end, it was kind of halfway between those. He fashioned a shot near the goal with his left foot. Just bounced harmlessly wide in the end. A bit of a let-off for the hosts. Murphy looking for Petkov. That one cut out by McLean. But Inglewood start again. A bit of a loose pass and a bit of composure there from Giovanni Suarez. How about that? He looks in towards Riak, just starting to get involved in this one. Leaves it for Barrera. Looks to clip one around the corner for Petkov, who was offside. The flag was up, but wouldn't have counted. Advantage paid, and Bayswater can run away. But again, nothing on going forward. And again, the high press looking to cause Bayswater trouble. Tiakuel pressing there with Petkov. Konstantinos Sparta finds himself in a bit of space. Wide for Abrams. Into the feet of Garner. Seems to be their attacking outlet, Tyler Garner, so far in this game. The only player really who's advanced the ball into an attacking area. Barrera has been heavily involved early. Get it back again. Barrera looking for Riak. Good ball there. Riak brings it down on the chest. He's got Murphy, uses him. He's going to want to get it back. Clipped over the top, and I think Riak lost flight of the ball and kept working. And in the end, he's won his side a corner. Good industry from Riak. I think he maybe just checked his run. Wasn't expecting the clipped ball back from Murphy. If he had continued, perhaps would have been in a scoring position. As it is, corner for the visitors with a 1-goal lead. Courtesy of, you guessed it, Steve Sokol, if you're just joining us. Bayswater 0, Inglewood 1. Just over a quarter of an hour into this fixture. Header away by the Bayswater defender, deflected and in. Tia Kuel takes the strike, he'll get the goal. A good slice of fortune there, but they won't care. The yellow shirts lead by 2-0 now. And on balance of play, you'd have to say it's probably deserved. If you throw in Riak's gilt-edged opportunity when he opted to shoot rather than go around the keeper, Inglewood could easily be 3-0 up at this stage. They have started like the proverbial house on fire. Bayswater yet to quite click into gear. Another mistake. Petkov almost let in. But reading the danger there and cutting it out was Turner. Put his team back in a little bit of danger. Dropping deep to pick that one up. Gordon Smith, a long way from home, having to pick up his touches down 25 yards out from his own goal. But here's a chance perhaps for Bayswater. Recovering quickly is a Sheeta Livings. Trying to keep tabs on the Bayswater man out there. Ndumba Mikeche. Cross finally comes in. Smith at the back post. Towering header, usually his domain. Does get a head on it, but doesn't get the requisite power to give Alex Dunn any sort of trouble. Dunn gets things restarted. Barnett looking down the line for Riak, but sliced his shot down the line. Bayswater with a throw on halfway. Sparta steps inside. Barrera clips his heels. Bayswater free kick on halfway. Turner exchanges possession with Sparta, gets it back again. Has his captain dropping deep, has his keeper Specker even deeper. He will look long, and Riak misjudged that one as well. It just allowed it to go over his head. Bayswater keep possession. Barrera looking to close down Sparta, who goes back to Hesketh. McLean on the turn. Cuts back away from Kuehl and then just gives it away. Suarez for Barnett. Murphy back for Barnett, and Gordon Smith attempting to put the press on here for Bayswater. Forces Dunn to produce a rather hacked clearance. Still well clear of the danger, and looking to twist and turn there and get away is Fraser Dunlop for Bayswater. Dunlop looking to go by a Sheeta Livings. Cuts back on his right foot, puts a ball into the box, headed away by Murphy. Back out for a volleyed effort from Alex McLean. Nothing too stressful for Alex Dunn to handle there, who bowls it out for Murphy. Bafabusha for Riak, all the way back to Barnett. Just thump it down the line for Petkov, who cushions it down, as per usual. Nice bit of footwork from Kuehl to dance around Sparta. Here's Bafabusha for Riak, holds his man off. Good second challenge there to keep possession for Inglewood by Riak. Sparta asking for a foul, but I think it was a pretty clean tackle there. Here's Steve Sokol. Coming inside with a bit of pace into the feet of Petkov. Leaves it back for Sokol. Back for Petkov, who volleys. It came off his arm. Bayswater get restarted. Costa gets the shout. He wasn't looking. Ball over the top for Mikeche. Comes off the back of his head. Don't know how much he knew about it. Dunn's out. Couldn't turn around and get a shot on goal. Sheeta Livings will try and get across there to cover. He does, but the ball bounces back for the Bayswater man, who's crossed into the box, was over the top by Dunlop. Inglewood with the throw. Shares it with Murphy, who gets more height than distance with that one. Comes off the back of Kuel, the scorer of the second goal, via a heavy deflection. Sokol takes a touch and a second. Comes inside, beats a couple of men, leaves it for Bafabusha. Or rather, overhit the ball for himself, I think, and Bafabusha came in to help clean up the mess. Kuel turns into the feet of Sokol. Cushions it out for Barrera. Reacts calling for it at the back post. He's in a lot of space. Instead goes for Sokol. Sokol for Petkov. Petkov, lovely touch. Back onto his right foot. Deflected up in the air. Headed on goal by Steve Sokol. He's got his second. Inglewood have their third, and this is becoming a rout. Well, Inglewood all over their hosts in the opening 20 minutes here. 25 minutes. Gordon Smith giving his midfielders their pelters. A bit of an argument there with Sparta and McLean. Just no shape, no rhythm to Bayswater at the moment. Bayswater 0, Inglewood 3. Well, dream start for the visitors. Gordon Smith looking to get something started going the other way. He's barely had a sniff of the ball. Neither is McKetche. McKetche looked to jump around. Barnett there. The flag is up. And it will be a free kick. Well, just a tussle with McKetche, who just looked like he was about to wriggle free and get in a dangerous position. And now Bayswater do have a free kick in a dangerous position. Konstantinos Sparta. A man standing over this one alongside McKetche. Maybe a route back into this game here. McKetche leaves the delegation discussing this free kick. Sparta and Cook standing over. It looks like Sparta will be shaping to shoot. Well, I thought top left corner would have been the target over the wall. In the end, it was top middle. Straight at Alex Dunn. With enough venom to sting the palms. Make it uncomfortable for him, and may have twisted something on the way down there as well. It doesn't look good at all. Signalling for a substitution, potentially. Looks rather innocuous. It's just the ball was hit straight at him. And down the centre of the goal. Didn't have to move side to side at all. And just may have come down awkwardly. Well, this would be a blow for Inglewood, one of their top performers over the years. Certainly not used to seeing an Inglewood team sheet without his name at the top. Whether or not the substitution will happen, I guess the physio will come out and decide now. One of those ones where if it's anyone else on the field, you can take them off and get treatment and assess them. But when it's the goalkeeper, I don't tend to do that. So another break in play. We're going to have a lot of stoppage time at the end of this first half. There was the early injury to Robert Petkov. He's still rubbing the back of his head there. Down on the touchline. Now Alex Dunn, who does not look in any way, shape or form like he's going to be able to continue this one. He can barely put any weight on that left leg. And that is a real shame for Inglewood. May this be an unfortunate path back into the game for Bayswater. Early substitution will have to be used on the goalkeeper. Anthony Bafabusha receiving the captain's armband from Jamie Murphy, who'd taken it off their keeper, and he gets a warm round of applause from everyone here at Frank Drago Reserve. And Josiah Godfrey, white cap, ponytail, red gloves, he'll be the man to take over. It's a good look. Let's hope the performance is up to scratch. As the ball just thrown back there, and Godfrey can have his first touch of the game. The first kick of the game is long and high. Sokol just nudges his opponent under it. 2 goals today for Steve Sokol, takes him to 10 on the season. Double figures out on top. Petkov nudges Hesketh underneath it and tries the remarkable. Just spying Nicholas Becker, perhaps creeping forward off his line. Just looking to thump it with the laces and get that speed and dip. Just didn't quite get the direction right. But when things are going the way they are for Inglewood, why not have a pop? Speck out with the goal kick. Long towards Smith. His header goes backwards to Costas. Murphy looks to flick it down. Murphy down the line for Riak. Mopped up by Abrams. Back to Specker. Specker thumps it down the line. Murphy competes with McKetche. Neither of them get a touch. Barnett's touch is a little loose. It was interesting for Garner. Comes all the way out for Smith, whose sliced shot just floats over the goal. A little bit clumsy at the back there, Inglewood. Was good intensity. Good press from Tyler Garner to force the turnover. And when the ball fell for Gordon Smith, he only had one thing on his mind. It just didn't quite come off for him. Godfrey with the restart. Looking for Petkov, it's short of him. Comes back to Bafabusha, who clips one over the top for Riak. The clearance falls to Riak, whose strike is over the top. Mistake at the back there from Jacob Turner. A little unfortunate. He got his foot on it, but Jack Riak charging him down. Clearance deflecting off his chest, and the final effort just couldn't keep down. A chance there to take a 4-0 lead in the first half. Absolute dreamland at the moment for Inglewood. As I mentioned earlier, a side that after their top 4 cup victory, I certainly thought that they'd be figuring around the top of the table. Smith looks to clip that one around for McKetche. He's in a tussle with Barnett, and Barnett wins out in the end, but it'll be a Bayswater throw. And then a 4-1 win over Armidale in round 1 for Inglewood. Really set Inglewood up looking like they were going to be competitive. And then 4 losses in a row really put paid to any sort of title push. But now, after that undefeated run of 6 matches with 4 wins, looking like it's going to be 7 matches undefeated and 5 wins. If they can hang on to this 3-goal lead. Still a long way to go in this one, of course, but 3-0 lead early on. It's going to be a mammoth effort if Bayswater are going to find their way back into this one. Barnett fouls McKetche. Again, it's Costa Sparta and Lucas Cook standing over the dead ball. Sparta, good ball into a dangerous area. Turned towards goal by McKetche. May have come off Barnett. That's the decision by the referee. It'll be a Bayswater corner. Really, you would think, need a goal before half-time if they want to have any designs on making this a competitive fixture again. They have started to spend a bit more time in their attacking third in the last 5 minutes, Bayswater. McKetche got up highest at the back post. Couldn't get it back across goal. Sorrento leading Rockingham by 2-0. Those are the only other goals around the league at the moment. 0-0 at Armidale v Glory, Balcatta v Joondalup, and Perth v Gwelup. So if you're tuning in, you've picked the right game, the game with all the goals. Murphy's clearance dealt with initially. Smith dropping deep, leaves it for McLean. Good clip down the line there for Cook, if he can keep it in. Looks to go by Kuel. There's a decent ball into the box. It's over the head of Garner, but he'll retreat and retrieve. Looks to stand up Murphy. Murphy does well initially and then clears the danger with his left foot. Abrams had his cross blocked. Moriak quickest to the deflection. Could only clear it out for another Bayswater throw. Just starting to have a little bit of possession here as Inglewood perhaps feeling like their job's done for this first half. And be happy with this 3-goal lead to halftime. Just sitting a little bit deeper obviously will be very dangerous on the break with the likes of Sokol and Riak and Bafabusha. Abrams striding forward. Cuts back inside Riak, loses his footing, but finds it in time to find Sparta. Sparta wide for Garner. Fizzes one back across the 6-yard box. It goes through the legs of McKetche. Real chance there if he had have seen it coming. Perhaps he was missighted. McLean turns away. Back for Hesketh. Sparta again. Good spell of possession from Bayswater. Ends in the arm of Josiah Godfrey, the substitute. If you're just joining us, he is on for the injured Alex Dunn in what looked an innocuous jump to handle a free kick, hit straight down the middle, just must have landed awkwardly and twisted something. He felt it go immediately, signalled for a substitution. Murphy takes a touch and goes all the way back to Godfrey. Looks reasonably assured with his feet here, Godfrey. And Steve Sokol was retreating from an offside position. Came back onside and then started pursuing the long ball. But of course, when he was played, he was offside. Sparta. Back for Turner, all the way across to Hesketh. Cook comes inside. Just looking to shift Inglewood from side to side, waiting for an opening. They do need a bit of patience here, Bayswater. 3 goals seems like a mountain to climb, but there is a lot of time left. Still 10 minutes, probably just over 10 minutes if you include all the stoppages left in this first half. You'd think the plan would be get at least one before half-time. Just get a sniff and see what they can do. Regroup at half-time. Just a very, very slow start. Godfrey thumps it long. Sokol and Cook. Cook wins the header. Only as far as a sheet of livings. Bafabusha. Suarez, big diagonal for Riak, who he looked onside for me. It looked like Hesketh was perhaps sitting back behind his back four a little. The linesman in a slightly better position than I am. Well, another poor mistake at the back. A chance for Steve Sokol's hat-trick. Absolutely deadly, Steve Sokol. What a performance by him. What a first half from Inglewood. And another mistake at the back. This time I believe it was McLean who just underhit the pass, and they are pouncing on every loose ball at the moment, these yellow shirts. Well, what a scoreline as we head towards the break. Bayswater 0, Inglewood United 4. And they don't look like they're done. A first half hat-trick for the league's leading goal scorer. And this is the Inglewood I thought we'd be seeing all season after their performance in the pre-season night series. And they have been absolutely deadly today. No more so, of course, than Sokol, but all over the pitch they've been combative. And Bayswater just have not had a sniff. The pressure has just been incessant. The press has been high, the energy's been high. And until really Inglewood had that 3-goal lead, as Hethkes gives Sokol a sniff again, and not content with having 3 goals and having a 4-goal lead. The Inglewood winger tracking back to make tackles as well. As the ball comes for Smith. His strike is blocked by Riak. Just every single person to a man out there wearing a yellow shirt, getting in the way, making tackles, making blocks. It's been as close to a flawless first half as you can have. As Murphy looks to hack that one down the line. Out of the reach of Riak comes to Sparta. In for Abrams, who goes across for Hesketh. Sliding in and cutting that one out there again is Sokol. Well, he's arguably been the best defender on the pitch as well. These last few minutes, a couple of important interventions. As Bayswater look to tee one up, Sparta comes under his foot. Out to McLean, back for Smith. Smith, yellow shirts all around him, pressures him in to yet another turnover. Little nutmeg from Riak, and Riak can run. Rolls it into the path of Petkov. Hustling to get back there is Turner. Clearance only as far as Kuel, scorer of the 4th goal. Coming in a little bit late there was Barrera. Referee allows play to go on. Kuel just caught on it by Smith and has his heels clipped. Well, a real question now of Bayswater's integrity, I guess, more than anything. Incredibly difficult to carry on at 4-0 down and not let the situation get worse. Inglewood have been all over them today. Sokol gets it back off Cook. Looks to play a little 1-2 with Barrera. Gets it back. Beautiful cross into the box. It comes to Petkov. Good first touch. How's the second? The second was a strike, and it wasn't as good as the first. Specker retrieves as we tick towards first half stoppage time. Mikeche looks to turn it around the corner for Garner. He won't get there. Not ahead of Murphy anyway, who goes back to Josiah Godfrey, the substitute, who clears. Hesketh for Turner. Inglewood finally just happy to let Bayswater sit deep with it, which Hesketh takes as an invitation to stride forward. Good diagonal for Garner, who steps inside. Looks to roll it into the path of McKetchay. McKetchay, well, that's the story of the first half. Cut back, the tackle from Suarez deflected back off McKetchay and out for a goal kick. Some fortune in the Kuel goal for Inglewood, but no fortune at all in the others. All born of industry, hard work, and a bit of quality from that man, number 14. Godfrey looking long over the head there of Petkov. Riak wins it. It comes down, and McKetchay is fouled by Barnett. Sparta looks to take it quickly. Garner floats one into the box on the head of Godfrey, and that's a nice confidence booster for the substitute goalkeeper. Nice one that he can just have a run and leap at. And claimed it comfortably. He certainly hasn't looked out of place in the goal. The reserve keeper. Very good shot stopper, by the way. Just hard to replace Alex Dunn in the starting lineup too many times. Down the line for Petkov. Let Bayswater come away. McKetchay. And here's a chance for Bayswater to stride forward. Turner on the charge. Can he get past Bafabusha? Clip into the box. Chance for Smith. Takes a touch, and yet again, things not quite coming off for Bayswater. He just snatches it wide. Oh, good stride forward there. Initially from Turner. And certainly Bayswater's best chance of the game there. Fell to the man they would have wanted it to fall to, Smith, but couldn't get his left foot shot on target. Godfrey for Murphy. Flicks over for Riak. Bounces out of play in front of Abrams, who takes the throw quickly. Switch from Specker to Cook was too heavy. And it's all on the referee how much stoppage time we'll have. And did have a couple of lengthy stoppages. One for the head knock for Robert Petkov, one for the injury to Alex Dunn. Barnett just thumps that one. And Specker with perhaps a heart in the mouth for the moment, but judged it comfortably. Sparta. Getting plenty of touches here, Constantina Sparta. Back to Abrams, who goes all the way back. And Turner can field there. In fact, it was Fraser Dunlop that made that surging run forward earlier. Not Jacob Turner. The 19s and the 18s can be a bit hard to differentiate from distance. Turner fizzes it into McKetchay there. Leaves it for Garner. Little 1-2 with McKetchay. Runs away from Riak. Looked to skip by Barnett, but left the ball behind. Petkov holds it up. Shields it from one. Couldn't shield it from the second. Good foot in from Sparta. Garner looking to clip it for McKetchay, who is onside. Chance to get them back in the game, perhaps. And there is the opening goal for Bayswater. Inglewood still cannot keep a clean sheet. A couple of glances over towards the linesman, perhaps a hint of an offside, but the ball over was into a good area. McKetchay surged away and finished with some composure over the charging Josiah Godfrey. Certainly wouldn't say the sub-keeper's at any sort of fault for that one. Bayswater do get their goal back, however they waited until Inglewood had 4 of their own before they managed it, so it is still going to be an uphill battle for the second half. However, it does give the home side some hope Chance to go in at half-time, retweak a few things. And if they can snatch one early in the second half, who knows? Here's Murphy. Bayswater take it away for Garner, and Garner can clip it over the top for McKetchay again. Suarez with a watchful eye. Lets it run through to Godfrey. Suarez strides forward. Looks for Petkov. Backing into Hesketh. Sokol nipping in to try and apply the forward press, but Bayswater break it and come away. Garner again opposed to Murphy. This time goes by him. Bafabusha now opts to a retreat. Back for Sparta. McLean. Cook. A second goal here would certainly give Bayswater something to play for in the second half. Here's Dunlop. Curling it back in for Sparta. Back for Dunlop. Bit of space to get a ball into the box. Doesn't beat Suarez. Chance for McLean. And there is the final whistle on a breathtaking first half from Inglewood. A hat-trick for the league's leading scorer, Steve Sokol, with a deflected strike from Tiak Kuel mixed in there for good measure. Taking a 4-0 lead in that first half before a late goal from the Bayswater striker, Ndumba Meketche. Just gives them a little bit of hope, chance to do some soul-searching at half-time. What can they come out with in the second half? We'll be back shortly to give that to you. against Gwelup. Perhaps Bayswater needs something of that ilk. But here's Ajak Riak. You'd think another goal here would just about ice it for Inglewood. As Riak's strike is blocked. Blocked well by Abrams. But certainly that fourth goal, the Steve Sokol hat-trick maker, was really reflective of Bayswater's first half. It came to McLean, who was given to him under pressure. He looked to play a first-time pass back to Hesketh, I believe it was, but neither of his centre-half partners were really dropping off and giving him an angle. He didn't have the awareness to not play the pass, and Sokol just pounced. Made no mistake on the strike. Just looking a little like strangers out there in the first half, the Bayswater back line, but growing into the game as the game goes on, as Smith chops inside Bafabusha and rolls it out for Dunlop. Dunlop cuts inside. Had a couple of moments in the first half, Fraser Dunlop, where he looked dangerous. Bafabusha had Smith interested. Clearance over the head of Riak. He tussles there with the Bayswater defender. Loses out, and Bayswater can restart. Good start to the second half by the hosts. If no chances yet, they've at least had a bit of the ball, a bit of attacking impetus. Chance to get a ball into the box here. Riak back, applying pressure, flicked in, McKetchay's header. Out for a goal kick. Ever so slowly, ever so gradually, the improvement is coming. A 4-goal head start is a lot to bridge back. Of course, Inglewood with the customary goal against. Only team in the league over 12 rounds to not record a single clean sheet in the league. But when you've got Sokol scoring hat-tricks, they might not need them. Hesketh, unchallenged. Smith looks to flick it over for McKetchay, brought down by Suarez. Suarez hacks it up high in the air, under the head of a couple of midfielders. It spills out wide. A rash challenge there from Hesketh, but he comes away with it. And here's Cook. Barrera for company, has to come back to Katz. And Danny Katz switches across to a number 11, which I don't have on my team sheet, unfortunately. Barrera cushions that one down. I thought about coming all the way back to Godfrey, but instead dropped the shoulder on about 3 Bayswater players. Came back up the middle. Now it comes back to Godfrey, who has to be quick to get it out to Ashita Livings, whose lunging touch couldn't keep that alive. Cook's throw for McKetchay. Through the legs of he and Suarez. Suarez comes away, leaves it for Kuel, who lobs it over the top for Riak. He will get there just a little too late. Specker read it really well. Just looked like perhaps the Inglewood winger was going to win that race. He won one earlier in a similar situation, but his first time shot over the keeper. Just went agonisingly wide. On this occasion, Specker read it best. Hesketh leaves that one for Specker. Bayswater, of course, one of the most decorated clubs in the NPL, certainly in terms of league titles, up there with Perth SC. Not accustomed to finding themselves battling down the bottom of the table, but that's where they'll be after today, barring a remarkable turnaround in these final 35 minutes or so. Inglewood, on the other hand, getting their first taste of silverware in a long time in that night series trophy. Thundering in there is Ashita Livings winning the ball, ducking away from a couple, leaving it for Sokol. The hat-trick scorer retreats to the other scorer for Inglewood, Kuel. Rolled through by Sokol for Ashita Livings. Sliding in there is Cook. Does well, but at the expense of a corner. Ashita Livings and Sokol exchange pleasantries. Bafabusha and Sokol over to the corner. Perhaps a flash of a thought of taking that one short. Bayswater sent a couple of men out to make sure that didn't happen. Bafabusha to take. The outswinger from the right footer, up on the head of Riaki, heads it down. Mikeche can clear, only as far as Kuel. It comes back to Suarez. Suarez back to Ashita Livings, who looks to clip one over the top. For Sokol, he's in a tangle with Hesketh. The referee allows play to continue. Cook for Hesketh into the feet there of the midfield, and here's a chance for Smith to run with it. Turns away from Bafabusha and retreats. All the way back along the back four again for Hesketh. Oh, Hesketh's path is poor, cut out by Petkov. Number of mistakes at the back, a lot of them have been punished here. This one not as harshly punished, but Inglewood will get a free kick. Giovanni Suarez steps forward. Perhaps looking interested in this one. A long way out from goal. If anyone's going to put their foot through it, they're going to have to make some sort of contact. Bafabusha just clips it over the top, flicked on goal by Petkov. Comes off the post and in! Oh, well, everyone was standing hands on hips, not knowing what was going on there, myself included. And that ball, the looping slow header from Robert Petkov, bounced off the inside of the post. Nicholas Specker was in La-La land, and that makes it 5-1 now for Inglewood. And this goose is cooked, I think. Wow, what a day. So just a mistake again at the back there from Hesketh. The turnover led to the free kick. I initially said it wasn't punished as harshly as some of the others. Just a free kick, but the resultant free kick clipped in by Bafabusha and turned towards the goal by Petkov. I don't think he thought it had any chance of finding its way into the old onion bag, but the bounce was fortuitous. The goalkeeping generous. I know it was a awkward one. Mikeche just attending to a wardrobe malfunction. And players restarted. Mikeche yet to get his left boot back on. And Suarez thumps it long down to Nicholas Specker. Well, a game that promised so much. Two sides separated by just the 3 points. Bayswater would have gone level with Inglewood with a win, but as it is, Inglewood will stretch 6 points away from their hosts, almost certainly. And their goal-scoring record's going to be just up about with the best in the league after today, if not the best. As a delightful bit of footwork there from Mikeche. Found Dunlop, who couldn't beat two, lost the ball. Sokol applauds the defensive diligence of his colleagues. And that has been Inglewood's real strength today, apart from the clinical nature of that man doing the applauding. Has been the team work ethic, intensity that has been there from the start. Bayswater have just been found lacking in almost every department today. Katz's header out for an Ashita Livings throw. He'll look, of course, for the head of Petkov, who just nudges his man under it. And Dunlop just stands there with his arms in the air, expecting a foul. Oh, poor touch from Riak. Fights back in and wins the ball back, Ajak Riak. Just turning it over one at a time in the middle at the moment. Riak's turn to turn it over this time, and Bayswater's chance to surge forward. That pass intended for Smith. Cut out. Clipped inside. Very nice pass, ends at the feet of Riak with a bit of space in front of him. Good switch for Bafabushu. He's got Sokol a little further on, but just hooks that pass across field. Out of the reach of the Inglewood winger. Hounded by Barrera, and Sokol comes away with it again. We've seen that a few times today. Sokol leaves it for Bafabusha. Had to stretch, but did enough to keep it. Ashita Livings now. Confronted by Dunlop. Turns away from Fraser Dunlop and leaves it for Bafabusha, who skips around Dunlop. Just a little game of ring-a-ring-a-rosy with him. And Suarez now doing the same with Smith. Just toying with him at the moment. Inglewood is Sokol perhaps getting a little overconfident. A leaping attempted back heel for Petkov. Didn't get any contact on it, and it rolls through. Bayswater can have the ball for a moment, but that long ball cleared. No one making the run. Inglewood throw. Well, at 4-1, you thought perhaps a goal at least has the Cat interested in getting amongst the Pigeons. But at 5-1, you would suggest that it's all over bar the shouting, and it's just a case of how many Inglewood can get now. This Murphy looks to stride away, but the ball struck his arm. Temperature just dropping a little here in Bayswater, getting a little chilly. Nice cool 17 degrees at the moment. Smith shields it from Barrera, his opposite number 8. Clips it out to his winger and then gets it back. Smith in for Mikeche, who looked to leave it there for Tyler Garner, but stepping around him, winning a foul. Bafabusha. Bayswater 1, Inglewood 5. Tiak Kuel with a goal. Robbie Petkov with his 4th goal of the season. And then Steve Sokol with his 9th, 10th and 11 goals of the season today. Barnett just easy as you like inside Garner. That pass there from Kuel. A little bit straight. Didn't give Riak a chance. Bayswater, another mistake from Hesketh. Leaves it for Sokol. Petkov will give it back to Steve Sokol. Perhaps a chance to look for his 4th. Instead, he wanted to tow it out to the run of Kuel. But it has just been a shambolic display, really, at the back from the home side. Garner looking to take on Murphy and Barrera. Murphy in the end makes the tackle. And a substitution for Inglewood. Will it be that substitution that we expect every game? I think it will be. As well as the best name in this, we do have the veteran Scott Blackmore coming on for his, I'll have to add them up, I believe it's his 10th appearance off the bench this season. Does tend to jump on with about half an hour left when the tired legs are out there and he needs to shore things up. Certainly a good game for him to come on with a 4-goal lead to protect. Clipped into the box. Headed away by Sheeta Livings. Further away by Scott Blackmore, his first touch of the game. Riak looks to stride away. Costas won't let him. Inglewood with the throw. "25 minutes plus stoppages left for Inglewood to perhaps grab a couple more, or potentially Bayswater to add a bit of respectability to the score sheet." Sokol turns it inside there for Theodosiadis, who looks long for Petkov. A retreating header is good, back to Specker. Rolls it out for Hesketh. Sparta's ball is poor. He did slip as he hit it. Godfrey takes his time, mops up. And you would think this one will be long in the direction of the big number 9. It is over the head of Robert Petkov. Hesketh heads wide and out of play. Sheeta Livings jogs forward to take the throw. And last touch off the Inglewood fullback. Bayswater look to take it quickly. Mikeche has a couple of numbers in the middle and a bit of space here for Bayswater. But Sparta has nothing in front of him. Garner. Good pass from him down the wing. Nifty bit of footwork, but here is the experienced head of Scott Blackmore. Just drifting across to left back to snuff out the danger. Expect him to be wherever he's needed to be along that back four in these final 20 minutes or so. Good pressure from the other substitute, Theodosiadis, on Danny Katz. They are just first to the loose balls, Inglewood. They have been all day, and that one Bafabusha was unable to control. He looks to make amends. Might have hurt himself there. He's still down, Anthony Bafabusha. Bayswater look to stride forward. Here's a chance for Dunlop. For the running Cook. And tracking back there, Alexander Sheeta Livings yet again. Another defensive tackle, another block from Inglewood. It has not been easy for Bayswater to get a ball into the box. Back to Cook. He's harassed by Sokol. In the end, comes back for Sparta. And another giveaway there. However, Inglewood return the favour. Cook looked for Mikeche. A rebound comes out for Bafabusha, who's got a running Riak in a bit of space on the left wing. And yet again, a crossfield ball from Bafabusha leaves a little to be desired. A little more action on the Bayswater bench. There's another substitute. Maybe Zimmerino. Did come off the bench to score last week against Rockingham, the winner against Rockingham, laid on. Today, I think the job will be to salvage a bit of respectability. Certainly will add a bit of dynamism, a bit of zip into that front line of Bayswater. As Cook comes inside for Sparta. Wide for Garner. Back into Sparta, who will set his sights on goal and caught it reasonably well, but always rising. Godfrey watches it sail harmlessly over, and now we'll get things restarted. No rush now for Inglewood. The job is all but done. Godfrey long over the head again of Petkov. I haven't managed to find him on most of these long balls. And Sokol nipping in again, stealing it off of Hesketh. Now he's got Cook for company. Retreats. Cook does well, sticks to his task. Ashita Livings. Good ball into the box from Ashita Livings. Riak was charging, headed away well. Sparta on for Garner. And that's the end of the line. Inglewood throw. Jamie Murphy takes. He's replacing the suspended Roberto Del Barello today. Jamie Murphy, and he's done well. Hasn't had too much to deal with, but what he has, he's dealt with well. That one ricocheted up off the arm of Steve Sokol, but the way things are going for him today, even those decisions don't go against him. Barnett for Bafabusha. Out for Suarez. Smith presses, but Suarez just toying with Smith. And Smith gives him a shove, a little petulant maybe, but probably a little theatrical from Suarez as well. Ball over the top for an offside. Steve Sokol perhaps. And Suarez and Smith have words that you would think Gordon Smith would be best served to stay away from those kind of encounters. It's obviously been a frustrating day for everyone in navy blue and black. And the man in green, of course, as well, who's had 5 put past him today. Sheeta Livings heads away, down only as far as the Bayswater man, flicked across the box by McKetche. It was the substitute Zimmerino there. That's the name I was missing. Barnett. Thump it down for Riaku. Shows a good bit of strength to hold off his man and looks to demonstrate some pace and run away. Left the ball behind though for Petkov, who leaves it for Theodosiades. Sokol. Sokol has Riak in tons of space out on the left wing, and he throws his head back in a bit of frustration. He's made a couple of good positions up there, Riak, on that far side on a number of occasions today. Just the diagonals haven't quite been there for him. He did have that one chance in the first half. The ball over the top. Exactly as he was asking for there. As it closed down there at the back, McKetche, his shot was wide. Smith follows it up, and Smith adds a second for Bayswater. Well, that is not what Inglewood need. Things were calm and comfortable. It was a good press on that occasion. Perhaps Inglewood feeling a little bit too comfortable there. Real mess up at the back, and Gordon Smith does find his way onto the score sheet, as he's tended to do in the last couple of months. It's his 3rd goal in 4 games. His 5th in 8. He's now got 5 of Bayswater's last 8 goals. Of course, McKetche getting the other one today. And Bayswater coming into this game with, as I've already mentioned, one of the better defensive records in the league. Would have thought if they got 2 goals, they would have been a chance. Certainly no one would have counted on Inglewood putting 5 past them. But the score is Bayswater 2, Inglewood 5. is Riak. Looking to get around his marker, he does, and scuffs across in, takes a deflection. Specker deals with it. And here go Bayswater one more time. Long ball looking for Mikeche. Suarez judges it, but his header is down only as far as Smith. Simarino looking to get a foot in. Petkov dropping deep to pick up the ball, doing really well. Blackmore's pass is poor. And maybe, just maybe, if Bayswater can find one more here, there will be some interest in perhaps snatching a point as Sokol runs back to pressure and force a turnover again. That time it was Katz giving the ball away, and Riak can stride forward, run at and past Abrams and find the back of the net himself. There is that bit of space for Ajak Riak I mentioned earlier, and he makes Bayswater pay for giving him that space. It is now Bayswater 2, Inglewood 6. That's right, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I will forego my usual run through of all the goals at the end of the game today because, to be quite honest with you, there's been too many to remember. A long time since I've seen that 6 used on the scoreboard. There's another substitution. It's a double substitution here for Inglewood. The warm round of applause, as you would imagine, is for Steve Sokol and Robbie Petkov, the dynamic duo of Inglewood. Sokol with 5 goals today, Petkov 1. So 3 goals today, rather. Petkov 1, Kuel 1. And Ajak Riak moments earlier, providing the 6th. Had to take a moment to pause and remember who had scored all the goals. Well, what an attacking performance from the visitors. They have given up their customary goals. Still a problem with keeping clean sheets, but when you score 6 goals, it's okay to let a couple in, I suppose. Coming inside there and fizzing one on target is Garner. He skips off the turf and into the welcoming arms of Josiah Godfrey, who is on in goal for Inglewood after the usually irreplaceable Alex Dunn succumbed to an injury there in the first half. I think Roberto Suarez is the man that replaced Robert Petkov at number 9. Replacing the Inglewood number 9 at number 9. Hesketh's pass back for Abrams. Drops the shoulder and turns away. The Sparta Smith making a charging run. It's going to be over him for Mikeche, who is offside. And there's 2 balls on the pitch. The referee, regardless, allows Inglewood to move things on quickly. Bafabusha. Theodosiadis. Back for Bafabusha. And here's Murphy. Just to come back inside for Bafabusha. Into the path of Riak. Riak will be looking for his second. A good save on this occasion by Specker. Inglewood corner, but chances have been free-flowing for Inglewood today. It's no exaggeration to say they could have had 7 or 8. In the end, they've almost got that. Would you believe? 6 goals for the visitors. Just the 2 for the hosts. And an Inglewood corner. Looking for their 7th. Bafabusha. Back for Theodosiadis. Cross to the back post for Barnett. He's stretching, can't keep the ball in. Specker will have to place it on the ground after it crossed the line for a goal kick. Bayswater do get us restarted. 4-goal deficit to overcome in the final 10 minutes, probably beyond them. Hesketh for Sparta. All the way across, and now for the run of Mikeche. Barnett gets there first and heads back. Godfrey now long onto the head of Bel Hassan. He's replaced Steve Suckle there on the right wing. Suarez can't hold on to that one. Garner. Gibson goes with Sparta. Tyler Garner charging forward. Couldn't take the ball with him. Bafabusha looks to go the other way. Roberto Suarez rolls it in the path of Riak. Bayswater get there first. Clearance for Sparta. Clipped up in the air. Back for Barnett. First touch was poor, but he recovered just about to keep the ball away from Ndumba Mikeche. Long diagonal for Bel Hassan. He came back looking for Suarez. And just dawdling on it a little was Acostas. Theodosiadis putting the tackle in. Unfairly in the eyes of the referee. Hesketh wanted to take the free kick quickly. Took a deflection, I think, off Suarez, who was a little too close. So he'll set up and do it again. Little check around the grounds. Armidale, Perth Glory still at 0-0. Joondalup leading Balcatta 2-0 at Grindleford Reserve. Gwelup have just equalised against Perth SC. 1-1 there. Sorrento turning over Rockingham handily. 3-0 at this stage down there in Rocky. A red card for Rockingham as well there. Perhaps letting frustrations boil over. Bayswater at this stage keeping their cool in the face of adversity. Bel Hassan looks to take on Cook. Cook gives him a little shoulder. It'll be a Bayswater throw. Cook does go over to check on the Downs United player. Well, more goals here at Frank Drago Reserve than all of the other games combined. The majority of them going the way of Inglewood United. Long diagonal there, looking for Zimmerino. Won't reach him. Does come back to Smith, but charging back to recover the ball as Suarez, and Smith stays down. A couple of times Smith's taken a knock and spent a bit of time on the turf. Slowly makes his way back to his feet now. Murphy has Riak. Riak loves to run at a man and go by them. He does so just there. Cuts it back across the box. No yellow shirt to field that one, and Bayswater can launch a counter-attack, but no one really hustling apart from the Inglewood winger there, Hamza Bel Hassan. Scott Blackmore just getting into the back of Smith, perhaps sniffs a bit of frustration in the Bayswater number 8. And almost just man marking him now. Touch there from Smith for Mikeche. Suarez read it best. Bafabusha looks to flick one around and go down and win the foul. Referee not interested, and Bafabusha now gives away a foul. He may talk himself into a book if he's not careful. Well, certainly a very, very soft little dive from Anthony Bafabusha there to try and win the free kick. And then a pretty clear rugby tackle to give away one of his own. Bayswater free kick into the box. Header from Hesketh. Couldn't keep it down. McKetchay looks to battle to keep it in, loses that battle. As we tick towards the final 5 minutes of play here, it has been Inglewood's day. There is no question about that. Bayswater 2, Inglewood 6. Godfrey's long ball comes back, but over the head of McKetchay and all the way back to Godfrey. Looking for Suarez. And free kick picked out for Bayswater. Sparta takes it quickly. Katz comes back for Sparta. Just the press has just been incessant today from Inglewood. They finally were starting to ease off, and then a timely substitution replacing Petkov and the hat-trick scorer Steve Sokol. Replacing them with fresh legs, and now it's Theodosiades, Suarez and Belhassan looking to wreak a little bit of havoc on the Bayswater back four, but it's going the other way at this stage as Leonard Gamma looks to do battle with Murphy. Murphy wins out on this occasion. A few minutes. Lovely turn from McKetchay in the box, but three yellow shirts surround him and eventually come away with it. Space again for Riak. Riak can run. He is confronted there by Abrams. Goes by him initially. Hesketh coming across well to make the block. Inglewood with the corner. Not long left in the 90 now. Bafabusha with the corner on the far side. In the long stretching shadows of the stand here at Frank Drago Reserve. Ball into the box, flicked on and just wide of the right hand goal post. Speckerfields still in a rush to notch a consolation goal or two, and sliding in there thunderously was the substitute Hamza Belhassan. He has put himself about. There are no easy balls at the moment for Bayswater. It has been a turgid day for them. Inglewood have been determined from the opening whistle to make it so. Murphy looks to clip one there for Suarez. The touch and the run there from Abrams takes him away. It's good work from that Bayswater defender there. Smith shrugs off Bafabusha. Cats will drive forward and find Cook. Cook into the feet of Zimmerino. Zimmerino for Sparta. And Gamma looking to get it in for Zimmerino, but Blackmore's there to mop up the danger. Suarez pressing. Can't nip it off Cook. Here's Katz. Mikeche. Mikeche rolls his marker out for Cook. Cook's ball across the box. Good touch. And a goal. Michael Zimmerino off the bench to score just as he did last week against Rockingham. Little more than a consolation here today, but still questions over the defence of the visitors. 6 goals to 3 now. Bayswater 3, Inglewood 6. It was a nice bit of link-up play there from Cook and a delicious ball across the 6-yard box. All it needed was a touch from Zimmerino and got that touch. And he got his second in 2 games, both coming off the bench. And the way Bayswater have performed in the first half, you would suggest Zimmerino might be pushing for a start next week. It's one of those positions where you don't want to keep coming off the bench and scoring goals because it almost makes that your position. We've seen that a number of times over the years, the fabled super sub. That ball into the path of Mikeche. Barnett does really well. Too strong, no question about that one. Held his position, held it well. And good experience, good composure from the big Inglewood number 17. Smith looking for Sparta, on further for Hesketh. And Cook has a bit of time to roll it for Mikeche. Can Bayswater get a 4th? Mikeche looking to create some space, looking to loft it over there for Smith. Cut out, but Sparta takes over. Smith looking to cross the ball into the box. He prefers to be on the end of them. Perhaps that's why. Fizzed that one in low, straight into a yellow body. Suarez looking to go forward. Bayswater pick his pocket and Smith rolls it for Gamma. Gamma well challenged by Suarez, who will look to charge the other way. The Inglewood centre half doesn't mind a run, and here he goes. He's got Baffabush outside him. He's going to ask for it back. Well, that would have been the cherry on the cake there if Giovanni Suarez could stride forward from centre half and score up the other end. Scott Blackmore, of course, as you would expect, has filled in his position. He's now marking Ndumba Mikeche at centre half. That cross in, looking for Gamma at the back post, but Godfrey claims. Speck up. It's Bayswater restarted. Through to midfield for Sparta. Looks over the top. Godfrey, the header with the hat on. Just on the edge of his 18-yard box. Sparta. Time ticking down here at Frank Drago Reserve. The result has been in no doubt for some time. But certainly, I don't think anyone would have expected quite the scoreline we've seen today. 9 goals in total. There's that one from Cook again, another good ball. He put in a peach for Zimmerino's goal a few minutes ago. That was another good cross there from the Bayswater fullback. Chance for Bayswater to cut the deficit to 2. And in the end, that would be probably a more respectable scoreline than the performance deserved. But they have kept their heads in the second half. They have battled on, and they deserve some credit for that. Just a really slow start is going to cost them as this one comes out to Leonard Gamma. Cats could tee one up. Instead, it is deflected and it's going the other way. Suarez has a man. He'll look to get it back from him. The run from Bel Hassan, he's offside, so they had to track back. Finds him now, but Bayswater have got numbers back. The counter-attack fizzling out. Perhaps should have done better with that one, the visitors. Riak in for Theodosiades. Theodosiadis turns on a dime back to Murphy. Murphy for Riak. Here's Bafabusha now. Has the run of Riak. Hesketh comes over again to make a tackle on the far side. He's swept over a couple of times well there in this second half. And there is the final whistle here. A day to forget for Bayswater at Frank Drago Reserve. Inglewood came out of the blocks absolutely flying in that first half. A first half hat-trick from Steve Sokol and a goal from Tiak Kuel. Gave them a 4-0 lead after about 40 minutes. The Ndumba Mikeche strike pulled one back for Bayswater to give them some hope coming into the second half, but a couple more goals, one from the dominant striker Robbie Petkov, and another one from, give me a second, it's been a long day and a lot of goals. Ajak Riak it was, striding away in space. That was the sixth. A few for Bayswater in the end. Ndumba Mikeche's goal I already mentioned. Coming off the bench, Zimmerino as well, as he did last week, scoring again. And Gordon Smith with the third. Well, I got through all of those. I wasn't sure if I would remember all 9 goal scorers, but there you have them. I have been, and will continue to be, Sean Fry. It's been a pleasure having you wherever you've been watching on the Football West YouTube and Facebook streams. I will bid you adieu for today. I'll catch you on the next broadcast. Adieu. I'm sorry I'm being criticised for my pronunciation. The final score today was Bayswater 3, Inglewood 6.